Okay, guys, so tomorrow we start a new unit on graphing your linear inequalities, but this time it's systems. We've graphed one line, we've graphed a linear inequality, which is one line on the graph, but we haven't graphed a system. So when we're graphing systems, notice here, you're gonna have those two lines. You have to worry about whether it's shaded, where you're gonna shade, whether it's solid or dotted. But notice how the shading is going to end up overlapping. So that's going to be the new thing that we're going to work in. Now, before we continue, let's go back over those rules. Your boundary lines, the type of lines that you're going to have. When it's less than or greater than, notice it's not underlined, so you have a dotted line. So you're going to have a dotted line. Oh, here it is. There we go. Dotted line. And let's write that down here. Dotted. Okay. Now, if it is underlined, if you have that line under, it's going to be a solid line. And I'm just going to make sure it has those little arrows there at the end. Okay. The shading. Remember, if it's less than, the word less than lets you know that you're going to be shading below the line. And the other one is greater. So you're going to shade above the line. Let me make these words smaller. That way I can actually draw a line and do some shading on it. Below. If the name of it is greater, greater means above. Let's just do it that way. Less means below. Greater means above. So I'm going to draw my line like so. And I'm going to do some shading, some freehand shading. Let me see if it lets me. Oops, there it is. So less means below. So we're going to be shading below the line. Greater means above. Shade everything above the line. Okay. That's just your quick chart. Solutions. Remember, your solutions are going to be anywhere in the shaded area, but this time, since we are graphing a system, it has to fall specifically in the double shaded area. Okay, so solutions, bold, underline, can be found in the double shaded area or on a, this is what we already learned, solid line. Remember, if you have a point and it doesn't fall within the solid line, that's not, it's not a solution. Very, very important. It has to be in the double shaded area this time or on a solid line. So if we look at examples here, you'd be looking at points like, oops, let me erase that. I'm going to do it in black. So here, 0, 2 would not be considered a point because even though it's on a solid line, it's not here in the purple in the double shaded area. 1, 2 right here. No, 2, 2 is not because it's on a dotted line. Here, if we look over here, this is what, 6, 4. That's in the double shaded area and on a solid line. So this is considered a solution. And obviously, if it's where the shading overlaps, it will also be a solution, and that is 4, 4. Okay. Now we're only going to do one example here online. And the other 3 examples, we'll do them together. That way there's a little bit more for us to do together than for us to not. I just want you guys to kind of look at what we're doing. Now, this first example, think about it. It is, you see an X, there is no Y, so you should automatically, or you should already be thinking bucks. okay? Bucks. Now, bucks is not your answer, but it is your, it does help us. So let's find the slope. The slope of a vertical line, we've been over it. It's undefined, UND, and there is no y-intercept because a vertical line is parallel to the y-axis. So there's none. I'm just going to use NA. You do have to double check to see if it's solid or dotted. Because the inequality is not underlined, that lets us know that this is a dotted line. Dotted. And the name of this inequality is greater than. Greater means to shade above. Okay. So let's put that on our graph. We're going to have a vertical line crossing where the X value is 1. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my X value of 1 on my graph, and I'm going to graph this line. I'm going to make it a little thicker. That way you can see it actually stand out from everything else. There it is. We did say it was supposed to be dotted, so make sure you make yours dotted. Dotted, there we go. And we said that the name of the inequality is greater, and greater means to shade above. When you're using bucks or when you're using a vertical line, you want to treat it like an arrow. So if it's pointing to the right, you shade to the right side of it. Okay. So I'm going to shade everything to the right side of this right here. Next, we have y is greater than -2. You have a y, there is no there is no x, so you should automatically be thinking hoy. Now, the slope of a horizontal line is 0. The y-intercept, because your y value is -2, y value of -2, that means it will cross the y-axis at the -2, so there is a y-intercept. Once again, your inequality is not underlined, so that lets me know that we're going to have another dotted line. And the name of it is greater, so we're going to shade above once again. Now, H tells us that is a horizontal line. Horizontal lines go straight across. So I'm going to I'm going to graph myself a horizontal line going straight across. I will go back and make it dotted. So make sure yours is dotted on yours, on your, oh Lord, why isn't it letting, it's not letting me click on it. Make sure yours is dotted on your notes. Dotted, arrows both ways. And then we're also going to shade above. So everything that's on top, and I meant to change it to pink. And notice how your colors end up mixing, turning it into a purple right here in this box. This is what we call our new solution area. Before, it was anywhere in the shaded area, but now since the colors are mixing, that's your new solution, okay? So now I wanna go in and I wanna check all of these points to see which ones fall on that graph. So 0, -2, 0, -2 is right here. It's on a dotted line, but at the same time, it's not anywhere in my double shaded area. So that's not a solution. 2, -4, 2, -4, it's in the shaded area, but not over here. So not, that's also not a solution. 3, 1, 3, 1 is right here. Yes, that is a solution. 1, -2, +1, -2. Crosses with both dotted lines, not a solution. And then 1, 3. 1, 3 is right here. It lands on a dotted line, so not a solution. Okay, now we'll finish this up when we get to class, and hopefully you guys understand for the most part what we're going to be doing in class tomorrow.